join me as I fly from St Petersburg to Moscow. Alright, on first inspection, not too busy, but of course the first step here is actually going through security. Alright, you can see the 9:35 to Moscow. That is us, baby. Alright, we're inside. It's not a massive airport, I have to say, but quite a few people around queuing up for flights. Alright, I'm flying Pobeda today, and this translates roughly to victory, which of course will give you some kind of thoughts, but for me, victory is all about getting to Moscow in one piece. It looks like this area is just for people going back to Belarus. One little clue that I'm not in Australia, apart from the language, is the high heel there. Check that out. Very Russian. That was all super smooth. The interaction was in Russian. Then at the end she said, red 14. I'm like, what's she saying to me? Red 14. I'm like, Krasny 14. And she's like this, and she started blushing. It's like, she meant to say gate, obviously. But I don't even know what gate is in Russian. I presume it's dvia, which is door. I'm going to say they're the same thing, or at the very least you can use it and they know what you mean. But apart from that, super smooth. Well, it turns out I'm pretty damn early. I have missed a couple of flights in my life, so I was a bit paranoid to make sure I was on time here. I'll have a bit of a look inside some of the duty-free shopping. You guys can compare prices with at home. So this is around, what's that, 10,000? It's 90 to 1 exchange rate. So this would be maybe 120, something to this effect. There's some real discount stuff there for 50. Maybe 130, 140. If I say the words "vkusna i tochka" to you, what does it mean? To Russians, "vkusna i tochka" means McDonald's. There must be about 15 or so restaurants here at the airport, and I would say McDonald's is still the most busy. So I'm a good half hour early, and I've spotted Bud Burger. Now, you may look at Bud and think that looks very familiar. You could do a European breakfast, could do some pelmeni. Alright, we've successfully ordered a cheeseburger and some water with gas. If you don't know, water with gas is the thing in this part of the world, definitely Central and Eastern Europe. Sagasum is the go. Now, what I've noticed here in Russia compared to Belarus, you can get away with a little bit of sloppy pronunciation, maybe you miss where the stress is in the word. Here, if you do that, they just don't understand you. I'm really focusing on speaking with their accent and really remembering where the stress is in the word. The stress is, of course, like there's a little dash over the top of the letter, and you got to drag that letter out a little bit. I notice if you don't do that here, they just don't understand what you're saying. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and everyone's drinking beer. It's really interesting. They're not trying to get smashed or pissed or whatever, but it just seems like in this part of the world, you just can have a beer with a meal. Whereas in Australia, people tend to drink to get really drunk. Because I look around, pretty much everyone, even the women, are having a beer with their meal. So in the restaurant just now, there were these two really big dudes near me. Like massive guys with a big beard and just like 6'3", just they look like they're bred with an ox or something. These freaking huge dudes, and they were really hitting the beers. And then one of them came up to my table. I'm like, this will be interesting. And the poor fella, his boarding pass was in English, and he couldn't understand what's going on. So I had to explain to him the boarding time and the time the plane leaves, because there were 3 different times on the boarding pass. He had no idea what was going on, and he understood me in the end. Definitely understood me, but he's had to start to board in about 5 minutes time. They didn't seem to be in a hurry, so I'm a bit worried he'll miss the flight. But that was kind of funny that he's in his own country and the bloody boarding pass is written in English, whereas mine's written in Russian. They seemed like they were going to be really strict on the dimensions of the carry-on bag. I saw this mentioned several times, and the lady pulled me out of the queue to see if my bag fits in the little metal thing, and it didn't fit. So she's like, I tried this way. And she's like, is there something you can take out of the bag? So I took out my laptop, then it fit, and she says, okay. put the laptop back in, and it doesn't fit again, obviously, but everything's fine. But then a girl a few spaces after me, she had 3 carry-on bags. I'm like, that's cheeky, man. Because I'm cheeky, right? Like, I've got the old jacket under the arm with a book kind of thing. I'm kind of pushing the boundaries as it is. She got 3 bags. I'm like, they let her through, really. I mean, you know, I'm never taking this seriously again. And they stopped her and they actually charged her for the extra 2 bags. So they just had the whole spiel about safety and whatever. And they did the English version. And I'm thinking that I'm probably the only English native speaker on a plane. So I feel very special to have this just for me. About to land. Right about not bad, fairly smooth. Oh man, I put my camera away, I should have known. As we landed and then it slowed down, everyone started clapping. I forgot this was a thing. I should know, always have my camera ready. Whenever there's Russians around, have your camera ready. And here it comes, my beautiful suitcase, in one piece, not broken. Oh yeah. Well, that was all nice and smooth. I really love domestic flying, man. Domestic flying, there's just so much less crap to go through with that big passport line. So I'm here, I'm happy. I just slept the whole way like a baby. Oh my goodness. I just felt this tap on my shoulder, and it was the flight attendant waking me up to make sure that my seatbelt was on. Now, rumor has it, there's a train called the Aero Express, and I'm going for it right now. Level 3 apparently, 500 rubles, which is about $5.50 US dollars, I think 20 minutes. So let's get to it. Alright, we are on the express train on the way into Moscow city centre. These are the first looks of Moscow. These apartment buildings look very familiar from Minsk. They look very familiar. Alright, got the train from the airport and then just one subway stop and I'm right near my hotel. That was all way too smooth.